Hi guys, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. I'm super excited about this video because I'm going to create an amazing card using the iconic dies along with our ombre specialty paper. This is a card that is included in my December Create Where You Are class to go, which does use the iconic dies and the sunny sentiments. If you decide that you want to purchase this class, you will receive all the pre-cut cardstock pieces to create 8 cards. There's 2 each of 4 different designs. You will receive a half a pack of this gorgeous paper. So they're all going to be cut to 6 by 6. So basically, you get a light and a dark-ish sheet because of the way it's ombre on the full sheet. You will also receive the Meadow Moments embossing folders. These are super cute. So you've got one that has kind of a little foliage, flowers, and butterfly pattern. And then this one here just kind of has a little bit of foliage along the border. You will also receive some linen thread and a half a package of each of our rhinestones, the rhinestone basic jewels and the champagne rhinestones to complete your kit. Now, if you want to add on the iconic dies or the sunny sentiments, you can absolutely do that. If you want to add them both together, it's an additional $60. If you want to add just the stamp set, it's $24.50, or just the dies, they would be $35.50. All the links to purchase all this will be in the description of this video. So let me get the supplies for this card and we will get started. All right, I first want to talk a little bit about this amazing ombre specialty paper. Now in the catalog, it's shown on page 135, and here is the little picture of it. Now it says that it coordinates with Gorgeous Grape, Mango Melody, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade. And while I do agree with all those, I also feel like it coordinates with some other colors. So this is the Poppy Parade paper. So this was a half of the sheet. And so I cut it in half, and then I cut these two in 6 by 6 pieces because that's how you're going to get it in your kit. So you can see that absolutely it coordinates with Poppy Parade. But as you start to come down on the ombre, it totally coordinates with the Calypso Coral. And then at the bottom, it absolutely works with our Petal Pink. And this could almost be white down here. So you can totally use these with more than just the colors that are listed. And now the yellow says that it is basically for, let's see, how did this one go? I think, well, this might be 2 different pieces, but it was basically something like this. So it says Mango Melody, which I can see the mango on the super dark end of the spectrum here, but I can also see crushed curry. You can see that you can get some crushed curry there. I feel like it would go with Bumblebee also. Down here where it's a little bit lighter, I feel like it could totally go with So Saffron. So just because the colors in the catalog say one thing, don't limit yourself. The navy, well, sure, it absolutely coordinates with navy, but at the other end of the spectrum, it totally coordinates with Pacific Point. And right at the very, very end, you could totally get some balmy blue from that. And finally, the Gorgeous Grape. Well, yes, I do feel like it coordinates with Gorgeous Grape. As you start to come down the ombre sheet, you can totally add in the Highland Heather. And I almost feel like it would coordinate really nicely with the Blackberry Bliss too. So, as I said, don't let that dictate how you use it. All right, so here's the supplies for our card. We're going to use a Petal Pink card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5. I've also got a piece of white that's 1 3/4 by 5.5, a layering piece of Calypso Coral that is 1 7/8 by 5.5, a strip for our sentiment, which is 3/4 of an inch. The length doesn't completely matter. It's just going to kind of depend on what image you're going to use. And then we have 3 1/2-inch strips of the coral, the Petal Pink, and the crushed curry, because we're going to kind of make a fun design on this layer right here. All right, so let's get these into the frame here. So what we're going to do is we are going to just kind of make some strips here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some liquid glue and I'm going to add some right here on the end. And then I'm going to add this Petal Pink. Now I don't want the entire thing. I just want a little bit on the end. So I'm flipping it upside down so I can see, that I have equal distance there, that's what I'm leaving is a nice amount. And then I'm going to snip that off. Okay. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of white space and I'm going to add my curry. So like this. And then I'm going to add the coral. And your spacing, you can, it doesn't have to be exact. You can have some of them be a little more spaced apart than the others. Come back in here and we'll get another strip of petal pink. Okay. And then we're going to flip that over and we're just going to snip these off. And they don't have to be perfect right now because we're going to actually really touch it up better when we're done here. So then we need, let's see, the curry. And some coral. And our petal pink. And remember, you're going to get the supplies to create 2 each of these cards. And again, on the end here, we're going to do the same thing. Well, I guess we can do it like this. We just want to leave about the same spacing. So we're just going to have a tiny bit of that crushed curry on the very end there. Okay. And now you can use a paper trimmer to actually get your ends really nicely, or you can just use some scissors. I think I can do it with some scissors, so I'm just going to snip along the end here and get all those excess bits off. And of course coming up the end here on both sides. And so we have now kind of basically created our own designer series paper. And now you could do this same thing with any, you know, since we're going to be using some of this great ombre paper, you can do it with some of the other colors too. All right, so let's get all of our bits out of the way here. So we have this piece done. So now we're going to add it to our layer of Calypso Coral. I'm just going to add some glue there. And it's going to be the same length. It's just going to be a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom, just to kind of break it up. So when we add it to the card front, it's got a little bit of something in between. Okay, so I can see that my white is a little bit long, but we're not going to worry about that until we actually get it on the card. So we can go ahead and do that. So just add some glue here. And then when you add it to the base of your card, you want to leave a little bit of the petal pink showing. So I don't know, that's about 1/4 of an inch, I guess. Okay. So press that into place nicely, and I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll trim that off later. So as you can see, I do have some pieces of Fern. This is actually one of the dies in the set. So in this class, we actually use every single die in the set, with the exception of the bumblebee. And the only reason is I do not like bees. And so I just do not like to make cards that have bees on them if I can avoid it. So you could absolutely take one of these, take the bee die and add it to any card you want, but I am just not going to. So there are a lot of dies in here. We have 2 gorgeous detailed flowers. And then we have a little trio of solid flowers. We've got let's see, these 2 leaves that can go with the flowers along with the fern leaf that we've used here. We have a cute little bird and a branch for him to sit on. We have 2 different sizes of mushrooms, and then we have the bee. So we're going to use every single die in this class with the exception of the bee, but you can absolutely add the bee if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to push those out of the way. So you can see I've taken the fern die and I have taken some of the yellow glitter paper, or I guess they're calling it specialty paper. I'm going to call it glimmer paper because that just sounds good to me. So I have taken a little chunk at the bottom, and I got a lighter leaf, and then I took a chunk, it's a little bit deeper, and got another. So I have 2 different colors of yellow now. And then I did the same with the kind of coral poppy image or paper here. So I did take one from the dark end and one from the kind of light end. So we have some really nice varying of color to add to the card here. Okay, so we are going to do that. I'm having some trouble. You can see I broke a nail all the way down, and boy, does that hurt. And so I'm a little frazzled trying to work with that thing. So I am going to take some liquid glue. Whoops, I've got a little glue booger there. And I'm just going to kind of lightly add it to some of these petals back here. And then we're going to add our fern leaves to the card. So we'll just add one right here, and maybe the light yellow we can add. Get some of that glue on there. There we go. We've got our other coral piece. Let's add the glue to that. And you can use whatever adhesive you like. I just am partial to liquid glue for detailed things like this. I just think it works really great. Okay, so I think I'm going to have it come up just a bit here. Press that down, and then finally we have our last darkish yellow here. So we'll add some more glue. And then this one, I think I'm going to add over here on the side. Press that down. Okay, that looks fantastic. Now we're going to bring in our sentiment. And as I said, I'm going to be using the Sunny Sentiments stamp set. So what I've done here is I have taken the thank you for all the little things you do and for your big heart, because I don't always want to add that second part. So I just cut right down the middle between those two phrases. And so I can use them together very easily. I can mount them on my block because I didn't do any special trimming in there. I just cut it straight down the middle. Or I can use them individually, which is what I'm going to do here. So let me get this on my block. Okay, and we're going to bring in Calypso Coral ink. Okay, bring in our strip here. I'm just going to stamp it in the middle, and then I can trim it. I think that could be a little straighter. We're going to try that again. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to snip off the end here. Try to make that nice and straight. And then this end, I'm going to do some flagging. All right, so I've got the Banners Pick-a-Punch here, and I'm going to use this little flagging end here. Let's see, which one did I like? I think it was it that one? I think so. So this punch is designed to crop the ends of 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch strips of cardstock. So this is a 3/4, so we're just going to slide that right in there, trim off the edge, and then we can just add that right here over the top of our little fern pieces. So I'm going to do that with some dimensionals. I keep forgetting what side I'm using. I think it's the dark side. The dark side. Okay, so let's get those. Get all of our little bits off here. All right, and we're going to add this. Whoops, I guess I need to trim the end off so I can actually butt it up against the end there. So my strip was just a smidgen too long, so I'm just going to trim that off. It's always better to be too long than too short, I feel. There we go. Now we can add our little thank you piece here. Try to center that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now we can bring in some of the champagne rhinestones, because of course they coordinate beautifully with the petal pink paper. And I think we're just going to kind of randomly toss a few here. Oh, that is just so pretty. And there we have it. Now, if you wanted, you could easily take a little bit of your linen thread here and you could tie a small bow. Okay, snip off the end there and see where we might want to stick this. Linen thread is the perfect thing. It goes with everything, which is one reason why I chose it for the class, because we have a lot of different colors of things in this class. And I thought having the linen thread would be perfect. I don't know if we actually, maybe up here. All right, we're going to try that. I think I'm going to make it a tiny bit smaller. There we go. And I need a glue dot. And I'm just going to roll this glue dot kind of like into a small tube, so that when I add it to the back of my thread here, you won't be able to see it, hopefully. There we go. And I'll just throw that right above on the fern piece, and then I'm going to trim these off just a bit. Okay, and so now we could actually decorate the inside a little bit as well. Now, if you wanted to, you could take some more of the strips and you could put a nice little pattern along the bottom, which I have already completed. So you will have a little bit of excess from all your strips from the front of the card. And so if you want, you can add some detail to the inside of the card as well, which is always fun to open up the card and find some nice detail in there. All right. And then if you wanted to, you could add that other part of the sentiment. Bring in the ink. And then we could add that in here. There we go. And of course, you also get envelopes with your class, so you have a perfect set to send out. So again, if you would like to order the class, you can do so in the description of this video. You get everything that I showed you. You get the pieces of the fantastic ombre paper. You get a half a pack of this. You get a half a pack of champagne rhinestones. You get a half a pack of regular rhinestones. You get the Meadow Moments folder that we do use on the other 3 cards in the class, and you get the linen thread. So links over in the description of this video. If you wouldn't mind giving the video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel right down here in the corner and click that notification bell. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.